That helps.
And welcome everyone on Facebook. It's so good to see everyone. And we are actually going to begin today by sharing a video that Brenda has put together of Reverend Faith.
I took them, but I didn't put it together.
Possibly. Oh, you know what? I didn't share my sounds. There we go.
Brenda's in the house.
And you know, honestly, that video to me is so special because every single one of those pictures is a whole memory. And I just think about, Reverend Faith, you've done so much over the years in this community, as a minister, and then even before that, you were a part of this community, and it's just there's so much richness and history there. And I just feel so honored to know you and to be following you and following in your footsteps. I truly am standing on the shoulders of a giant. And so thank you so much, Reverend Faith. And so that brings me to welcoming everybody today to Celebration Center for Spiritual Living. We're so glad that you're here. And today is an extra special day because we are honoring our beloved Reverend Faith. And she's tried to retire a couple of times and we keep sucking her back in and we might continue to do so. Who knows what's going to happen, but we're just so grateful for all that she has done for this community. So this whole day is about Reverend Faith. And we thought that we would do it today because it's also Valentine's Day. And what I know about Valentine's Day is that regardless of whether or not you have a significant other in your life that you're celebrating this holiday with, it's truly all about love. And we dearly love our beloved Reverend Faith. And so what better day than to celebrate all that she has done for this community. So we are located in Falls Church, Virginia, in the DC metro area. And right now we are live streaming everything. So welcome to everyone, whether you have been coming every single week forever, or whether this is your first time here. We're so grateful and excited that you are joining us today. We have such an exciting service. And at the beginning of our service, we like to start by saying our vision for our center together. And so I invite you to say it along with me. Stay muted, but say our vision with me. We are celebrating spirit within and knowing the oneness of humanity. And so it is. And now I am going to turn it over to Lynn Hollyfield for our opening song.
All right. All Angles and I are going to share a tune called, I believe this is an old traditional song. It's Woke Up This Morning. Here we go. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Yeah, woke up this morning with my mind grateful as ever. Woke up this morning with my mind grateful as ever. Woke up this morning with my mind grateful as ever. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Woke up this morning with my mind on Reverend Faith. Woke up this morning with my mind on Reverend Faith. Woke up this morning with my heart sending her grace. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
Thank you so much, All Angles and Lynn. I know I woke up this morning with my mind on Reverend Faith. And now I would like to invite our practitioner for the day, Irina, to lead us in some prayer and encouragement.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Irina Kurashevich, and I'm a practitioner at the center. Practitioners are here to pray. According to Ernest Holmes, this philosophy, Science of Mind, is based on the conviction that prayer works. And everyone who prays, who practices Science of Mind, is a practitioner. There are some licensed practitioners who took the commitment to be in prayer, to be in service, and that's what we do. Later in service, you will see how to give us a prayer request. And remember, practitioners are always happy to pray with you, to know the truth behind all the circumstances, or to know more expansion of what you already have. So please give yourself this treat and give us this honor to pray with you and about you. And if you would love to have a prayer with a practitioner, there is a list of practitioners, or you can always contact Reverend Chris and she will direct you to a practitioner. February, happy Valentine's Day today. It's in the middle of the February. Who would believe that? And we continue to celebrate Black History Month. And I love the idea that Reverend Chris gave us to pick a person who would inspire you and to speak about them. And it's a very, very interesting process because I could not pick one person. You know, I read a lot, I educated a lot. I could give you so many names that really inspired and uplifted me. But I came to one for today. So my choice is Mary McLeod Bethune. She was born on July 10th, 1875, and she passed on May 18th, 1955. It was a long life of a very, very, very well inspired person, an inspiring person. Mary McLeod Bethune was an African-American educator and civil rights leader, best known for her work co-founding the Bethune-Cookman University in Florida. Born into a sharecropping family in South Carolina, the young Bethune had a zest for learning from her earliest days. After stints teaching in Georgia, she and her husband moved to Florida and eventually settled in Jacksonville. There, she founded the Daytona Normal and Industrial Institute in 1904 to provide education for Black girls. It was the first school for the Black girls. It merged with the Cookman Institute for Men in 1923, and Bethune served as president for the next 2 decades. A passionate philanthropist, Bethune also led civil rights organizations and advised Presidents Calvin Coolidge, Herbert Hoover, and Franklin Roosevelt on African-American issues. She became a special advisor to President Roosevelt on minority affairs. In addition, President Harry Truman invited her to attend the founding convention of the United Nations. She was the only African-American delegate there. Additionally, Bethune was a businesswoman who co-founded a Daytona, Florida resort and co-founded the Central Life Insurance Company of Tampa. Honored with many awards, Bethune's life was celebrated with a memorial statue in Washington, D.C. in 1974 and a postage stamp in 1985. Her final residence is a National Historic Site. Isn't it a wonderful life? And before we go to prayer and my reading from Miss Bethune, I picked several. Faith is the first factor in a life devoted to service. Without it, nothing is possible. With it, nothing is impossible. We live in a world which respects power above all things. Power, intelligently directed, can lead to more freedom. Unwisely directed, and can be a dreadful destructive force. And in her will, that's what she left, us with. I leave you love. I leave you hope. I leave you the challenge of developing confidence in one another. I leave you a thirst for education. I leave you a respect for the use of power. I leave you faith. I leave you racial dignity. I leave you a desire to live harmoniously with your fellow men. I leave you finally a responsibility to our young people. And just embrace the words of this remarkable woman who was the 17th child of a family of former slaves. And just embrace that power, that desire to live, to be one and inseparable from the divine. As there is only one power, and that power is God, is love, is presence, is life itself, and it is equally present everywhere. And as I speak my word, I know that I am one and inseparable from the divine. I'm all that God is. And I'm one with the power of the universe. I am my faith. I am my service. I am love. I am peace. I am wisdom. I'm one and inseparable from all men and women who were before me and who will go after me. And I am one and inseparable from the power of my word. And I declare that there is oneness for everyone who is listening to this prayer right now, physically or in spirit. And I know love, I know peace, I know wisdom for this world right here, right now. I know perfect healing for the situations that are far from peace, far from love as we see it. As I know that God is under there, underneath, within every situation. There is no issue that can be resolved in God, as love heals it all. I know there is freedom. I know there is divine clarity and divine wisdom for everyone. I know that all the prayer requests are answered. And they're a perfect relationship, perfect Valentine's Day. And from knowing this truth, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for this opportunity to speak the word of truth for myself and from my community. I'm so grateful to be here and grateful to know who I am and who everyone is. And from this deep, deep, deep gratitude, I just let it be. I release. With my heart full of gratitude, I let it be. I celebrate God. And this is so. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you so much, Irina, for those beautiful words and for telling us about someone that I didn't know much about. Thank you. And now I would like to invite Lynn Hollyfield to do some special music for us.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to do this song for Reverend Faith. It's my gratitude song. I am grateful to her. She asked me not once but twice to be the music director, and I'm grateful she asked me a second time because I wasn't sure I could do it the first time. So thank you. This is called Because of You. Round the table we all sat. Ideas passed around inside your hat. You said there's a way from here to there. But my uncertainty sat in the chair next to me. last morning star has set. Choices to be made, but haven't yet. There's a shelf to rest your fear. You said, close the door on doubt when it's near. And with you, here I am. With you, here I stand. You made this real, and I'm here because of you. Because of you. Trust visits in my sleep. Like the wind, it lifts me into belief. The guides coax me round the bend, and then I see you standing there, my friend. And with you, here I am. With you, here I stand. You made this real, and I'm here because of you. I'm here because of you. Unexpectedly, your gift unwrapped the waiting when you saw in me possibility. Gratitude is a crazy thing. It always makes me cry, so I think I'll sing to Reverend Faith. You brought me here. Ooh, you brought me here. And with you, here I am, with a humble heart. Here I stand. You made this real, and I'm here because of you. I'm here because of you. I'm here with you.
So before Reverend Faith begins talking, I wanted to she doesn't need an introduction. She has been the beloved minister here at Celebration Center, and before that, she was a beloved practitioner, and before that, she was a beloved member. But I do want to tell y'all about just what it's been like for me coming into a new congregation with such an incredible minister that I'm following, because, sometimes there can be weirdness of some sort. And one of the things when I was candidating for this position, one of the things that I was it was so absolutely clear that I was going to gain a really amazing friend in Reverend Faith through this process and through becoming the minister. And she has been this transition period that there's been so much to it, and yet she has been constantly there, constantly supportive. She picks up the phone at all hours and tells me everything I need to know and gives me support and gives me advice. And she's just been the most incredible person. And one of the things that I'm just so grateful for of many of taking this position and joining Celebration Center as the senior minister is Reverend Faith and gaining this amazing person in my life. And I'm just so grateful, so grateful. And so without further ado, I invite Reverend Faith.
I thank you, Reverend Kristen. And Reverend Chris, I flip between those names. So did you forget a video or did you decide not to do that?
I changed my mind. Okay. Go for it.
Okay, I thought I had a few more moments to have these eyes dry out. You guys are phenomenal. It's so interesting to be here and see myself in so many different venues and hear from you just intermittently. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, practitioners. Thank you, everyone. And the song is beautiful. I mean, you're catching me off guard kind of every moment. So we begin. I want you to know that I am so grateful to Ernest Holmes for so many things, for recognizing and having the foresight and vision that science and spirituality can actually work together. That even though science wants things measurable, we're now in an age where we can prove some of those things are happening. We can't measure things that we can't see, really. We can't hold a yardstick up to them. And yet we're finding ways to measure things we can't see, like the heart waves, the brain activity, and seeing things through more magnification and more microscopic means than ever before. So the question still remains, how do we measure things that are immeasurable, like the infinite invisible, that spirit, that life force? How do we measure those? How do we measure things that life force supports? How do we measure love? How do we measure peace? How do we measure joy in our lives? Those are still unmeasurable things at the moment. But I have a feeling one day we will be able to measure them. We speak of them in grand terms. You know, it was so much and so beautiful and so this, but they haven't actually found a way to measure God yet. Now I have this book, and this title, The Infinite Invisible, just brought up this book that I have called Measuring the Immeasurable. And in it, there's some exploration, and scientists that are saying, here's how this is happening, and here's what we can do now, and how it's all coming together. And Greg Braden was one of the participants in that book, and he said these words. Part of his things were from St. Francis of Assisi, said, "There are beautiful and wild forces within us." And these words of St. Francis describe the mystery of power that lives within each man, woman, child, everything in this world, because we're all infused by the energy of spirit. And the Sufi poet Rumi further described the magnitude of our power by comparing it to an oar that propels us through life. And he said, if you put your soul against this oar with me, the power that made the universe will enter your sinew from a source not outside of your limbs, but from a holy realm that lives in us. Do this with me, he's saying. Put your strength in mine, that part of us that we cannot actually know, but we can let live through us, that holy realm in us. So we are tapping right now some of the most powerful forces in the universe when we bring our thoughts and our feelings and our emotions together. We're joining the head and heart in creating our lives. And many of us grew up with this idea that our brain is what we want to focus on. We're taught to think it through, and we're taught that this is the learning power, the brain. This is where we know what to do and how to act in the world. And what we want to do now, what we're learning now, is there is a powerful heart muscle that needs to be integrated and allowed its rightful place. It's our heart that produces the strongest electrical and magnetic fields in our body. And if you don't know, that is 10 times stronger electrically and 5,000 times stronger magnetically than those of our brain waves. So this is a powerful field, this heart. It's also been noted that the heart gets the message first and sends it to the brain, something very different than I grew up with. So these powerful fields extend beyond our heart and influence atoms in the world that surround us. These magnetic waves and these powerful electrical waves go out into the field around us. And then we have the feeling that we're actually creating patterns of energy that interact with the very stuff the universe is made of. Allowing the heart to lead is where our true power lies. And we get there through feeling. And this month, with these topics that we're on, we are encouraged to move from thinking and trying to figure it out to feeling it and experiencing it by way of the experiences, by putting our soul against that ore with others and having mystical experiences. So this is often referred to as getting out of your head and into your heart and taking that journey. There's no one path or religion or idea of thought that has a corner on the market here as far as mystical experiences go. Mystical experiences happen all the time in every thought, and for people who aren't religious at all, they have these experiences. And I bet if I were to poll us, we would each have a story of some kind where we felt like we were in a bigger place or freedom. And I know for me, the first date with my first husband was like magical. We climbed a water tower and we were up there and the wind was blowing and we were talking, and it was like nothing could have been said or done that would have taken the magic away. It was just heart opening. And I didn't know what that was at the time, but I knew it was magical. And I also knew that my husband-to-be knew, because he invited me out on a second date, but he said, you know, the wind might not be blowing. So he too had some feeling. And it's that feeling when we look at a tree and we just see the magic of it. We see the life in it. We don't see a tree without life. We see the life coursing through it. So those are the experiences we hold on to and we want to have again. And I think too often we hold on to that experience with the expectation that it'll be like that. I want to have that again, when really we should be moving on. We should be moving on and saying, more. Let's have another one. Show me something new that I haven't had before. Let this spirit come over me. You know, it says in the Bible, the Spirit came upon him. Let the Spirit come upon me and let me have this experience. It is so powerful. And Joel Goldsmith says, for us, in order to have experiences that we might want, he says, put into practice what you already know. Put into practice what you know. Do something that you know you can do as a means to having prayers answered, as a means to having these experiences. The painter paints, the dancer dances, the chef cook, and the mystics stay open. They open to spirit, to let the spirit come upon them. Let God give you words for the book. Let God guide you with the paintbrush and the temper that's just right for you, that right angle. Let God move the dance forward. Let the divine speak through you uniquely, because you have a gift to be expressed as no one else can. And I used to believe, oh, all the words have already written. They've already written that story. They've already painted that picture. But it hasn't been done by you, and it hasn't been done by me until we do it. We're here to add to life, to add our own little separate color, our little stroke, our little this or that to the painting, to the word, to the book, because we think differently. We all think differently, and we have different ideas of what is beautiful. All you have to do is look at the art world. You're drawn to some and not the others. Doesn't make the others bad. It's just different. And someone appreciates all of the differences. We're here to be expressive, you and me. So I'm going to invite you just to jump in. People are waiting to hear from you. From you. Just jump into it. In the Science of Mind textbook, it says, anything that will enable us to express greater life, happiness, greater power, so long as it does not harm another, must be the will of God for us. As much life as one can conceive will become part of his experiences. And I love the fact that it does have this little thing, so long as it does not harm anyone. So we can take everything and have it all, as long as we're not harming another in doing it. My father used to have a saying that said, your rights end where mine begins. And he used an analogy of smoking in his house. So people would come and they would ask if they could smoke. And he would say, well, I have the right to clean air in my house. And you have the right to smoke. So if you smoke outside, you have the right to smoke, but I have the right to clean air. And I kind of always liked that idea that we all have rights. We all can be part of this, and it can work. It can work. There was no judgment. He didn't go into a judgment about you shouldn't be smoking or anything else. It was just simply a line and a softness, a dance. It was like the dance that we do. From our Center for Spiritual Living Global Village, we see a world in which every person lives in alignment with his or her highest spiritual principle. A world in which individually and collectively we are called to a higher state of consciousness and action. And you know, sometimes we come together on Sunday mornings like this, and we gather in groups to learn together, to take classes, to commune together, because together we work in alignment. In this teaching, we're working in alignment with others, and we're inviting others in the world, individually and collectively, to be called to that higher state of consciousness and action. And we can do that through our living each day, just through the people we greet in our daily activities. We don't have to preach to them. All we have to do is show them that we're happy, and there's a way they could be happy too. The word content, there's a way they could be content also. We're expressing beautifully in the world and being creative, and they can do that too. In the Science of Mind textbook, it goes on to say, there can and does descend into our minds, embody and personify in our person a divinity, the Spirit of God. It's such a big concept for us to take in, that we constantly have to remind ourselves sometimes until we actually begin living it in such a way. So it's a way of doing life. Because we do believe, one of the tenets that Ernest Holmes puts out is that we do believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature. And that anyone can do this, because our spiritual truths are all the same. There is nothing in this world, nothing that you can see and nothing that you cannot see that is not God in action. So anyone can reveal truth who lives in close contact with this indwelling God. How closer can God get to us than the indwelling? How closer? So that to the degree that we are willing and open and receptive participants and partners with God, our lives can and will correspond and demonstrate that divine relationship. And it takes practice. You know I mention practice probably in every talk I ever say, but it does. Because we didn't tie our shoes on the first try. We didn't button a button on our first try, probably when we were growing up. We practiced it because we wanted to be able to do that. So this desire within us is welling up that says, I want to know Spirit, and I am willing. I am willing now. You know, and I'm reminded of Michael Beckwith's, Reverend Michael Beckwith's thing where he said, if I don't have 20 minutes, time for 20 minutes of meditation, I better do an hour. Because if we're not willing to take the time, if our spiritual practices aren't important enough, then we definitely have work to do. And with God as a presence in us and this innate connection, we are all of those things that God is. We are love, we are joy, we are peace, we are the many adjectives we have for this wonderful Spirit that dwells within. But we have to do our part, and part of that is listening. The practices and listening. It's not always about being quiet and listening. We could be racing down the street and listen. We could be dancing and listen. We could be listening to loud, raucous music. We could be in a crowd. But when we get that call, that one thing that says, oh, I hear this, listen. And for me, sometimes it's time to get my pen and pencil and write it down, because how quickly our ideas can leave us for other greener pastures if we're not willing to feed them. Our ideas want to be fed. Our ideas want to live, because if everything is a living thing, I'm putting ideas into that living place. And they want to be alive, and they want to be energized, and they want to be appreciated. And if we don't take them, someone else will. Someone else will. I don't know how many times Sandy and I have sat around and said, this is what we need. And we even name it. We name it like we need a bug zapper. Something that we can just go like this and to that bug up there and suck it in there. Maybe it doesn't even have to kill it. Maybe we could just take it outside later. But and we design this thing, and before we know it, it's out on the market. It's there. It shows up. It's amazing. So listen to your ideas and take them and work with them. So I would like to give you some three things here that kinds of illustrates what I've been trying to say. And the first one is that there is a divine yes. There's a divine yes that's not going to stop. It's always going to invite you to grow, to love, to joy, to be in joy. It's going to challenge you. It's going to grow you if you're willing. And this soul's calling, your heart's desire, this divine yes, could show up as your curiosity or interest, and then have a greater pull. Or it could show up as a curiosity or interest that leads you on a path to something else. So wherever it's going, this yes announces itself. And sometimes it's more in a painful way, but sometimes it's in a happy way. In other words, it could be through the loss of a job and you get a better one later. It could be that you are just so happy about something, this other big idea comes too. So however the experience, whatever the experience in your life is, there is something greater that awaits your acknowledgement and response. So the second thing is, as this comes through, are you willing to dance with the divine? Are you willing to dance with it? Are you willing to engage and to move? And that means moving from your head to your heart, trusting your feelings, trusting your imagination. I love that word, imagination. You know, when I think of imagination, it takes me right back to my little kid self when I could make sandcastles in in the sand and do all of the things that were so magical. And flying in my dreams. I mean, if I can fly in my dreams, I can probably fly. There are some things in this world I'm not going to try to do because it would take more time and energy than I want. And I have other things to be doing right now, but imagination is connection to that great creative energy, connection with God. So are you willing to dance full out with spirit? Are you willing to dance full out, or what is holding you back? This is a time many of us have started decluttering our homes and such like that during this time. Well, it's time to declutter our minds sometimes too, to make room for that imagination, to let go, create the room, let your imagination thrive and see the magnificence of who you are. Release those thoughts that hold you back. Don't let fear or the past hold you back. Number 3, you are divine now. Everything you have, everything you need is right there in you, as you, and through you, if you're allowing spirit to work through you in your life. If spirit can be spirit showing up. So prepare for it. And it's time for us all to wake up. Wake up and say yes. Accept this divinity. Know your worth. Prepare for it. Be ready, study, practice, strengthen skills if you need to, but know that you are also worthy right now. Being in agreement with this magical mystery tour, if you will, being in agreement with this mystical journey is something that's very important, because God is always giving us a choice, and we don't have to be there. We don't have to say yes. But I promise you that if you do, you will find life being more pleasing, easier, challenging, fun, enjoyable. I don't know. There's not a word for it. It's going to be better. Let me put it that way. So what I would like is to recognize that there's one more quote I wanted to share with you. Because I really found this unique. Albert Einstein was known for his wisdom as well as his scientific genius. And he spoke of the interconnectedness of existence. And he said, a human being is part of the whole, called by us the universe. A human being is limited in time and space. He experiences himself, his thoughts, and his feelings as something separate from the rest, a kind of optical delusion in his consciousness. This delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and to affection for a few persons nearest to us. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of compassion, to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty. That is quite clear, right? We are part of the whole. A scientist said that. So life requires agreement and participation. Don't be a spectator. Be not a spectator anymore. Ask yourself what brings you joy and inspires a feeling of possibility and energy, and do it. And I've had some good heart-to-heart talks with myself lately about, why am I not sitting down doing this if I know I love it? And that's what I think I want to do. That's what I say I want to do. Why am I not doing that? Why am I thinking I have to do everything else first? I'm going to start, and I'm going to invite you to start putting that first on your to-do list, putting that first, scheduling it on your paper. This is mine to do. This is me. I'm looking out for me here. It's a little bit selfish in a way sounding, but if we're all part of the whole and we're all getting better, we're helping all of life itself. So what is the one thing you can do today to prepare for your demonstration of moving from head to heart? Where do you need to create a space in your thinking or beliefs or your life habits? How can you nurture that awareness of the infinite invisible, your guide and your partner? So do that one thing, find it, and what are the next steps? And what if you were to wake up tomorrow and say, today I'd like to take a journey with my heart leading the way. Today I want to take a journey with my heart leading the way. I'm willing to take the journey from my head to my heart. I'm willing to listen to my intuition, and I'm willing to be more. So it could be that it could become a new habit and the beginning of a wonderful, wonderful adventure. So I have an affirmation for us. And before we do that, I just want to thank you all again for a beautiful day. I know it's going to continue. And as I think about that, my eyes are starting to water. So let's do our affirmation first before I can't. One sentence affirmation, I'll say it, and then I'll invite someone to say it after me, with me. With trust, joy, and delight, I let God be God in me. So please say it with me, whether you're muted or unmuted. With trust, joy, and delight, I let God be God in me. And so I guess we can join in a moment of prayer. Even though sometimes we think our whole life is a prayer, we just recognize it as a group. Oh, we have an echo. Okay, so as we go into prayer, I invite you to just take a moment and tap your feet on the floor. Maybe move your arms around a bit just to shift the energy of where we've been. Allow yourself to have a little picture of what that journey from the head to the heart might look like. Allow yourself just to open to that heart's desire. As we once again recognize that everything that we are swimming in this life, this atmosphere, the chairs we're sitting on, the things that we are all created by Spirit. There is no difference. We tenderly care for all of life. And we take care of it in the best way we know how. The Spirit that we are in, that lives in us and through us and is surrounding us, there's always an invitation to step into love and live from love, to step into peace and be peace, to step into joy and not just be joyful, but to be joy. Let it be us. Let love be me. Let joy be me. As I know that there's a possibility that I can do that, I know there's a possibility that everyone can do that. I know that as we've had experiences of that divine, as we hugged a tree or noticed something, a bird special, whatever our experience was through our pets, through people, as we've had those experiences, we know this possibility. And so we invite it to become more, not to be the same, but to become more. I just simply bless this center for all that it does for this world, this teaching of Ernest Holmes and taking it out into the world and sharing this love with others. I bless each and every person who is here, inviting them to step into their greatest yet to be. Step into that love and be it. So in deep gratitude for this time spent together and in deep gratitude for life itself. I know that this prayer is in a law that does its work beautifully. It takes these words and it hits the mark whatever it is for me, for you, this prayer comes full forward, and I bless it as it does, and so it is.
You could go ahead and tiptoe through your life, digging in the dirt, you could stress some strife, but I'm gonna fly past the worry and the pain today. I'm flying on faith, flying on faith, I'm flying on faith, faith. You could cry all night about the things that you hate, so dissatisfied in so many ways, but I'm gonna find a way to celebrate today. I'm flying on faith, flying on faith, I'm flying on faith, faith. Picked up my baggage and I threw it out the door. Not looking back, because the past is such a bore. I'm gonna stand with the moon, with the stars up in my face today. Today, I'm flying on faith, flying on faith, I'm flying on faith, faith. You could hurry full of worry, let the fear take you out, imagining the worst overcome with doubt. There's no way to know, knowing is the only way today. Today, I'm flying on faith, flying on faith, I'm flying on faith, faith. Picked up my baggage and I threw it out the door. Not looking back, because the past is such a bore. I'm gonna stand with the moon, with the stars up in my face today. Today, today, today. Today, I'm flying on faith, flying on faith, I'm flying on faith, faith. You could go ahead and tiptoe through your life, digging in the dirt, you could stress some strife, but I'm gonna fly past the worry and the pain today. I'm flying on faith, flying on faith, I'm flying on faith, faith. I'm flying on faith, flying on faith, I'm flying on faith, faith. I'm flying on faith.
Thank you.
So I would like to invite Irina to say a few words.
Yeah. So Reverend Chris said lots of things that I wanted to say. That for me, it's a unique situation when a person comes in the doors of an organization as as just a visitor to see what's going on. And then Reverend Faith stayed and became a member. And then she had that divine yes calling her, and she said yes to be a practitioner. And who knew? Because those of us who've heard Reverend Faith speaking a lot, she was afraid to be a public speaker. And to say yes to be a minister was a big, big, big challenge for her. Big challenge for her, because she knew that the part of that job would be coming up and speaking in front of groups of people. And she did it. And it's so powerful. And I don't know if she knew at that time that the job of the minister includes so much more, and probably the public speaking was the first thing that was just the easiest thing that she had to face. And you know how they say that there are pillars of the society. And usually when we think about those people, they're big personalities who stand up front and it's all about them. It's, you know, it's about their goals and ideas. But there are other pillars and we don't see them sometimes. They just stand behind and hold the whole construction. And that's what, you know, they say that you can lean on people like Reverend Faith. And it's been several times when Reverend Faith would give us the shoulder, I mean the center, and not the shoulder, but a loving heart and acceptance. Because Reverend Faith very, very rarely would say no because I said so. But usually she says, yes, I am here to listen to you and to meet you somewhere, to understand what is the desire and the, you know, under this or this, words, emotions, problems. And that's what I absolutely appreciate in Reverend Faith, that she's always here to say yes and to be present even if she disagrees. And sometimes you can see that she shakes her head and closes her eyes, but she's still there. Her heart is still open. I've never seen her closing her heart. I always saw her heart being open. She was a big part of the Minister Manifestation team. And I was amazed how Reverend Faith was supporting the team without including her opinion as a current minister. And of course, you know, when the pandemic happened and we just had the celebration in January of last year, Reverend Faith could go, but she didn't. And again, she became that pillar who would be always present. If you look at the activities, what we had, Reverend Faith was absolutely gently involved in that, like a fabric. You know, I would say that Reverend Faith during the pandemic is a canvas for all the bids that Celebration Center was having, all the activities, all the events. We're here because Reverend Faith again said yes. So I'm so grateful, Reverend Faith, for you be here. And I would love to invite Sandy if he's around. Do you know if he's around?
I'll call him up here.
Please do. Yeah, we would want to wait for Sandy because, you know, every pillar needs someone who Reverend Faith probably could come home and say what she thinks and what she feels. And I'm sure that he witnessed probably some tears, some emotions, and, you know, it's Sandy, and we're very, very grateful that, you know, Sandy's in your life, Reverend Faith, because I was, you know, the first time we were looking for the minister, I liked the question in the list, in the interview questions that are you supported at home? And I was like, well, that's too private. Why they're asking that? It's all about our consciousness. And now I know that no, you need that. You need someone in your life. It can be a friend, it can be a relative, but someone who will say yes to the tears, to the laughs, and, you know, to all them, to life, to share it with you.
He is on his way up.
Okay.
I can hear his little footsteps.
Again, here he is. I can hear his footsteps. Ladies and gentlemen, and
Surprise!
here is Sandy Woods, who is always helping us.
The flowers are from the Leadership Council.
So, Reverend Faith, we can't say thank you enough, but there is something to make your life a little bit sweeter today. And Sandy was such a great sport to help us with that. Thank you, Sandy.
You're certainly welcome. I'm glad I could make some of the perspiration for the inspiration, whatever. But I'm glad anytime I can make my wife happier, that's what we're here for.
Oh my gosh, these are the most, I have to take one out so you guys can see. Maybe Sandy will hold one up and I'll hold one up.
Yeah, they're all different.
They're all different. Look at this.
Yeah. Oh,
they're all low fat. It will hang below your belt.
They're not. Yeah.
Wow, we will enjoy the, oh man.
Yes.
And look at those beautiful flowers he found.
Yes. In that weather, those flowers were the best.
He is a very creative individual.
Yes.
Very creative. Thank you. Oh my goodness. And he did keep it a secret.
I had to hide him a couple times, but you know how it is. I think she's got a nose for sweetness or sugar. Maybe that's why I'm still around.
I've heard of blooming idiots, but
Hey, don't be afraid to look in the mirror and see God, and God laughs too. So you know we're all here in this circus of life, and God could use more clowns.
Yes, thank you, Sandy. And you know, as we continue, we go to our sharing. We'll let Reverend Faith to take a breath. And thank you again, Sandy, for being such a good surprise maker with us.
Glad I can be a part of it.
Thank you. So we go to our spiritual practice of sharing. To be a part of the law of circulation is one of the practices we do.
Hey, Irina, hold on just a second. We have something before that.
Oh, okay.
So we actually have another treat. So I invite everyone to put your screen on gallery view so you can see one another. Or if you go to Reverend Faith's little box and you see the 3 dots, you can click that and you can pin her and she'll come up big for you. If you would like, you can do either or. And we're going to play a song. And I invite you to just look at this community and look at Reverend Faith and listen to the words of this song and just see God in what is happening here.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. Face of God. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are a part of me. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. Face of God.
And now I'd like to invite Reverend Faith to say a few more words and tell us what's next, Reverend Faith.
Oh gosh, you know, I knew that it was time to let go, so they say, and I have just been exploring some new ways of doing things day to day. But on Sundays, what I've done, because I am the regional support coordinator for Area 10 that we are in, and a group of, so I have meetings with other regional support area coordinators. I'm going to their centers on Sunday morning to check them out, see how they're doing, just to be with, you know, get to know them a little more. And that's been very interesting. Even at the same time, I miss you. So I often hear your service later in the week. I have begun some creative endeavors, and I am a consummate learner. I think we never, ever, I think we always have the ability to learn. So I'm in classes and groups where I am learning new things and expanding my point of view every day. And I don't know what else to say. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. And I love each and every one of you. And you're invited to call and check in on me. Hopefully I can do the same. If I call and check in on you and you don't want me there, just let me know. And I'm okay. And I know you're okay. I know that you are in good hands with Reverend Chris. I know that the life that she brings forward as the leader of this community is going to be rich and abundant. And so I'm trusting that we're all together in the support and love that you have shown me in transferring that and pushing it along, because that's what our community is. That's who our community is, a group of loving, caring people. And you've shown that today. And before I start crying, I'm going to say thank you again. And I'll see you during social time.
Thank you so much, Reverend Faith. And I have absolutely felt that love and support. And I know for a fact that that is who this community is. That is the capital T truth. Thank you. And now, Irina, go right ahead.
Thank you, Reverend Chris. So yeah, as I mentioned before, sharing and giving is a wonderful practice as we participate in law of circulation, because as we give, we receive, and as we receive, we give. And I know that this center is a beloved community which gives absolutely abundantly and generously. And I pray and know that this center is continued to be that way. So with that, I think that we have the affirmation.
Affirmation, yep.
So take a deep breath, let it go, and please read with me. I open my heart to give and receive the blessings that our spirits promise to me. As I do, the entire universe conspires to give me an abundant life, and I open to accept it, and so it is. And as we give our donations, we also, I remind you to give us this opportunity to pray with you. So please give us those prayer requests, put them in the law that works. And there are several ways to do that. Reverend Chris earlier in chat posted the email that we now use. It's prayer@celebrationcenter.org. There is purple button, request an affirmative prayer. Please use that. It goes straight to Reverend Chris and practitioners. And there is subscribe button to, again, being part in a circle of, in the law of circulation, when you will be receiving the news and participating, giving your attention, your love to our events. The green button is to give, and this is one way you can give, or you always can mail check to our office. And there is in the corner, there is a mail address, and all our events just one click away from you. And the Zoom events button is always ready. So please follow the announcements, find something you would love to participate, find something that you think it's not for you, and just try it. And please, please, please be the part of the center. We're absolutely grateful. And with that, I would love us all to bless the prayer requests. As we know that there is one life, and that life is God's life, and that life is perfect. And that life is my life and all lives right now. And I know that all the prayer requests, they already answered in the perfect mind of God. As God doesn't know the word no. It is always divine yes, as Reverend Faith said to that. And by putting this prayer request into the law, into prayer, we just start that dance with the divine, knowing that it's always perfect. There is only love. And we bless the generous donations. We know that they go further. They participate in the life of the community and beyond. As you know, a class taught, a word heard, we don't know where it ends, how it changes the life. And I know, and I'm so grateful to know that this center is prosperous. And grateful to know that each and every one is giving from their hearts. I'm grateful. And from this deep gratitude, I just let it be. And this is so. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you so much, Irina. And Michael, would you like to very quickly do some announcements?
Of course, very quickly. I just want to say a quick shout out to Reverend Faith. That sermon was phenomenal, so inspirational. Honestly, for me, that was one of the best sermons I've heard from you. Not to denigrate any other sermons, but I think it's because I just sensed that you were free. You were open to the divine, and the divine spoke so elegantly through you today. Thank you. Thank you. Are there any first-time visitors here today who would like to say hello and how you found us? Just raise your hand and we can unmute you. Anybody would care to say hello? No. Okay. All right. So Reverend Chris has a new class, Spiritual Principles and Practices, and it's open right now for registration. There it is, right there. See? Ask and you shall receive. There we go. This class will meet Wednesdays from 6:30 to 8:30 for 5 weeks, beginning in March, and is suited for newbies and, you know, seasoned science of minders, I guess. And the link to the registration is in the chat and also on our website. So just look down into the class areas and register. Other than that, we've got lots of ongoing weekly events on our website. So please visit for more information. We've got meditation, chanting, yoga, and more. And also, we always have more. All right. Thank you, guys. See you in the social hour.
Thank you, Michael. That was very expedient. Great job. And now, go ahead, Reverend Faith.
I just want to note that I'm seeing people that I haven't seen for a while, and thank you for coming. And my dear friend Ruth Littlejohn showed up. And I was just thinking of her the other day and thought I should give her a call. We went to school together. We traveled extensively on many trips back and forth to California and have stories we cannot tell. So we're just going to leave it at that. And thank you all for showing up. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And before our closing song, that actually leads me into our community Zoom time. After this, I highly invite everyone to stay because we have that video hug that you have all been working on so hard, and it is compiled and it is ready to go. And Ruth has a video in it, which is what made me think of it. So, and as well as a lot of y'all have videos. It's really beautiful. So I invite you to stay on for the community call. If you're on Facebook right now, go to our website, celebrationcenter.org, and click on that Enter Zoom events, and you'll get here with us, okay? And now Lynn is going to close us out.
Okay, I put the words in the chat box. This is I Thank You by David Porter and Isaac Hazen. We sang this for you, Reverend Faith, the first or second or third time you were trying to retire or something. I don't know. So I hope people will sing along with it. So here we go. You didn't need to love us like you did, but you did, but you did. And we thank you. You didn't need to love us like you did, but you did, but you did. And we thank you. If you took your love somewhere else, we wouldn't know what it is to be loved so much. You made us feel like we never felt. So we're singing the song and taking time to tell you, you didn't need to love us like you did, but you did, but you did. And we thank you. You didn't need to help us, but you did, but you did, but you did. And we thank you. Every day was something new. You put on your faith and saw us through. You got me trying new things too, so I can do the very best that I can do. Yeah, you didn't need to love us like you did, but you did, but you did. And we thank you. You didn't need to love us like you did, but you did, but you did. And we thank you. We thank you. We thank you.
Thank you. And I bless us all in our mysticism as we move into our community time and say bye for now to our Facebook Live.